welcome back. My name is Gabrielle and today I'm doing another Halloween look. I want to do a sad clown. I did a sad clown 2 years ago. I do really love how that look came out. I am quite proud of it. But I was wearing a t-shirt, like a black t-shirt, and I think that's lame. And I got a costume. I just got a clown costume from Spirit Halloween, so I am ready to get into the clown. I'm not gonna wear a wig for this. I'm just gonna wear a costume. I have red hair, and I honestly don't know what hair color wouldn't go well with a clown. The only reason I was thinking of getting a wig was to get a black bob, but then I was like, no, like I'm just gonna have my real hair. But yeah, if you're interested in learning how to look like a clown realistically, not metaphorically, then so I blocked my eyebrows and now I'm just going to go in with my foundation. I'm just going to use a normal color of foundation. I used to use Fenty Pro Filter in the lightest shade for like a white base or something, but I don't have that with me because when I moved, I didn't bring some of my Halloween stuff. I think I was just sick and tired of transporting things. So I'm just going to use my normal color foundation. And this is totally something that I feel like anybody could get away with because I feel like it's pretty easy to look like a clown, even like on accident. I do have a light concealer though that I am going to use to make my face a little bit lighter, but I'm just going to use Kosas Tinted Face Oil. This is a light coverage foundation and I think it'll work well with my vision because I want this look to look grungy, dirty, and very worn. Not to say that this foundation is bad at all, but my redness still peeks through when I wear it. I had to do a little bit of finagling with the eyebrows, but they're fine. I'm gonna go in with this Rare Beauty concealer. This is in the shade 100W. I have two shades of these. I bought this one first, but it's a little too light for me for every day, but even then, I feel like I could still get away with wearing this one because a little bit goes a long way. It didn't look like too outrageous on me. I'm gonna lighten my face. Use a little more concealer than I normally would just to really get that pale base. Like, do you see how much this concealer spreads? Is that the word? I'm also gonna contour my face. I'm gonna use the Illamasqua cream pigment in the shade Hollow. I use this to contour quite a bit. It's the perfect color for my skin tone. It just looks like a shadow. And if you are using a white paint on your face, then you could just contour with a gray. With my birthmark right here, it can be kind of hard to see like when I contour because I feel like this is the main thing that you see. I could easily turn this into a video talking about how I got bullied about my birthmark, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna set my face with the Cover FX Perfect Setting Powder, and I'm gonna use the NYX High Glass Powder to set everywhere else. I'm gonna do the eyebrows first again, and I'm gonna use eyeshadow. I'm gonna use the Creepy Cute palette from Shroud Cosmetics, and I'm gonna sketch them out first with the shade Tombstone. I want these eyebrows to be black, so I'm gonna go in with a gray first. Looking at the picture of the clown that I did, I really like the eyebrows I did. They look very clown to me, and I want to try to recreate that. Recreate myself. Love Yourself by BTS. Is that a song? Or is that just something that they say? I don't know. So it looks like it just kind of went up. Oh, it's pigmented a little bit. And then I know I follow the natural arches of my eyebrows for this look when I did it. This eyebrow to a good territory. I use translucent powder again to clean up the edges. Have you ever like done something that you were doing kind of symmetrically, whether it was doing your eyebrows or like a wing eyeliner or something? You do this one first and you're like, okay, cool, let me repeat it on this side, and then this is the side you end up liking better, so you're like, oh, let me match this one to this one now. And especially when you do the better one and it was an accident. You're like, I don't fucking know how I did that. I really like the point that this one is doing, and I want to try to get that on this side as well. I'm just gonna clean up. I'm now noticing that this one has a bit of a dip that this one doesn't have. I just added more, like I made this a higher arch so that this could appear lower, and I think that is how it's gonna be. I don't want to stress myself out over these eyebrows, so let's just make them black. Here I am saying,
it is okay if you draw them asymmetrical, you know, like live, laugh, love. Your face is asymmetrical, it's literally fine.
and then I'm over here like,
These don't match.
I'm using the black in the Creepy Cute palette called Void. So these are not the eyebrows that I drew 2 years ago, because I remember them coming down a lot more, like the tails coming down a lot more, but it is fine. Growth. Accept change, damn it. These eyebrows remind me of that mime character from the Powerpuff Girls. You remember that episode where there was like a mime villain? He was cool. And that was such a good episode because the song that they sing where they fucking throw down and they shred on the guitar and they're like, love, 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 love. Icons. Literally, are the girls doing it like that? So for my eye makeup, I'm gonna use blue. My costume is red and black, and I like it when clown makeup matches the costume, but I'm just gonna go in with blue. I feel like it's pretty universal anyway. And I'm gonna use the Menagerie Whalesong palette. Ignore this. Have you ever had an eyeshadow where the powders fell out? Like, not the pan stayed in place, but the powders just fell out. Yeah, that's what happened here. It also happened to me with ColourPop. So we're not gonna use this shade. I'm gonna go in with a dive right here. It's a pretty perfect color for this. Heather Morehouse. I bring her up so much, can you tell? Like, I was so inspired by her. In her clown look, she did like a halo eye, and blue on the sides, white in the center, and I think I'm gonna do that as well. That's what I did in my last look. It's Likely Makeup also did a clown look like this, and hers was so good. I don't think she did a halo eye. I think she just did like one color. She did it first, and then Heather Morehouse, and then me. I'm just gonna start this off here. And again, I want this to look worn. Like, I've been wearing this makeup for days, so I'm not gonna blend. I'm not gonna have this be super perfect. Also, if you bring your eyeshadow like really high up to right underneath your brow, that helps your eyebrows appear to be lower than they are. So it looks like they're like crouching down. I'm just gonna take some powder that's like in the same color as my skin, and I'm gonna use it to help with the patchy look. If you find that maybe it looks a little too blended or a little too like perfect, quote unquote, kind of put this in spots. I'm just switching brushes to get it on my lid. I'm gonna deepen this a little bit with the shade Breaching right here. It's like a navy blue, basically poking yourself. On the center of my lid, I'm going to use a white. I'm going to use the Pure and rawbeautykristi palette, and I'm going to take the shade Lumos. I feel like I don't have that many whites. And I remember Kristi saying when she made this palette that you can often find a black in a palette, but you don't find a white that often. And that was why she put it in. And that makes more sense now. I don't have that many whites. I'm just going to put it here. in the center. I put white over some of the blue, and then I'm putting the blue over the white. It helps for it to look a little less pigmented. And I'm also putting a little more blue on top of the white up here. So before I add blush, I want to add dirt and like grime to this. Something else that I don't have is any of my paints, because a good way to add like a little bit of dirt on your face is to use like a water activated paint and splatter it on with like a splatter brush or like a toothbrush that you're not using. Or you could get a stipple sponge and dip it into some paint and then stipple on your face. The way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to use this brush from Delium Tools. This is the 110 splatter. So yeah, if you happen to have like a brush like this, you could like, I'm going to dip it into an eyeshadow. I'm going to hit you guys with an old product. I'm going to go in with Mocha from Makeup Geek. I've used this eyeshadow as a natural shadow quite a few times. And I'm just going to take the little top of the brush and just dip it in there. And I'm just going to dot it. Something that can be a little tricky about this is it can create sort of a perfect circle right here, or like a perfect line. I'm just going to use a blending brush to kind of make them a little less opaque. Like they're still there, but they're not like as uniform. This goes for stippling sponges too. Like using the square edge of a stippling sponge, it can create like a perfect line and it just doesn't look as organic. I'm like hitting myself. I look like Claire Saffitz. I don't know what that thing is that she uses where she like beats dough or something. I don't know how to bake. Me and Danny watch her because she's cute. You know, hitting myself is the most effective way of doing this. That sentence out of context. I don't want to add too much on my upper lip because I don't want to look like I have a mustache personally. So I am going to put blush over this, but I like to have this on first so that it looks a little more, again, organic, versus like trying to apply them avoiding the blush. I like that. I really like this color Mocha for something like this. If your skin is darker than mine, you would just have to get this effect with a shade that is deeper than Mocha. Just look for like a brown that has a cool undertone that is deeper than your skin and go from there. So I thought that I wanted to add like lines for my forehead to make this look really worn in, and I wasn't too happy with how it was looking. I thought that it looked a little too dark and just like random lines on my face. So I just put powder over it and it just looks like dirt now, which is fine. I think I'm just gonna go for that instead. I actually think I'm gonna add more of that to my hairline. I had a hard week, you know. I was waiting for the train. Somebody came up to me and said, "Would you play a game with me?" And I said, "Yeah," because I am a man and I probably have never been approached by another random man before and feared for my life. And then we played this game and he just started hitting me in the face. And then he gave me a card. And the card had a phone number, and I called the phone number, and then I met up with these people at this place, and then they took me into their car, and then next thing I knew, I woke up in a bunk bed with hundreds of other people. It was a rough week. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is add blush. I know I didn't have this when I last did this look, and it's perfect. I'm gonna take the Clown Blush palette from It Likely Makeup. This is a really good blush palette. These blushes are really pigmented, but you could also use a light hand and get them a little more sheer. Of course, I'm gonna use the shade Circus, and we're going there. This is a clown, okay? I'm gonna focus it more here. Try to give the more round blush appearance that clowns tend to have. I want this blush to be darker, so I'm just going to go in with a darker red. I'm actually going to use this palette from Odin's Eye and the Fancy Face, the Hummingbird palette. And I'm going to take the shade Red Hills. Yeah, I feel like this is making it look a little more red. And then I'm going to use an eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to go into Red Hills with it. I'm going to just like kind of do a similar technique that I was doing with the blue eyeshadow. I'm also gonna put little patches of powder in the blush too. I think I'm gonna add a touch of black to my blush, just a tad bit. And then I'm gonna add a little more of the dirt on top of the blush. Oh, that's what I'm missing. I didn't put blush on my nose. I'm just gonna go back into the Whalesong palette to finish the eyes. I'm just gonna use the same colors, starting off with Dive and then Breaching. And then I'm gonna go back in with Lumos on the center. So this is a Morphe brush. It feels so hard. I remember using a Morphe brush and trying to convince myself that it wasn't scratchy. It was scratchy. So I'm gonna use BCC eyeliner from Milk again. And I'm just gonna put on mascara really quick. I definitely want to put on lashes for this look. I'm gonna use these again, Nova from Lunar Beauty. When I wore these for my porcelain doll look, I thought these would go perfect for the clown look. They're quite spiky. I'm not gonna do bottom lashes. I have a new arch nemesis. And it's bottom lashes. Just like, was I doing it wrong? Like, it was so hard. So my lashes are on, and I was going to use red on my lips. I had already started, but I want to use black. I think I'm gonna try to use black instead. I'm gonna use the Black Moon Cosmetics Sleepwalker liquid lipstick. This smells good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like this better. Okay, so I went in with the lipstick and then I used the Void eyeshadow on the edges, but then it obviously wasn't as opaque as a liquid lipstick is. So I went in with this small angled brush onto the lipstick applicator and I put it here along the sides, and then I used powder to go along the sides. And then I also went ahead and I blurred the edges of the lipstick so that it could match better and so that it's not as pristine. Now I'm just taking powder again, just going back and forth. If we're already this dirty and grubby with our lips, last, I'm gonna take a touch of concealer because I don't want this to look like a mustache. If putting concealer over something that is powdered gives you like a bad texture, it adds on to the look. In this case. Alright, so I changed into my costume. This is the costume that I got from Spirit Halloween, and I am really happy with this look. I really like the eyebrows, I like the lips. It was a bit of a learning curve for me with the lips, even though I did them before. It's been a while, and just I like the way that it turned out overall. Yeah, this is my sad, dirty clown that had a rough week, probably was in Squid Game because it takes place over like 6 days or something, like Jesus. But again, same thing as last video, you could just use whatever it is you have. You don't have to have the exact palette that I used or anything. You could find a black somewhere else, you could find a white somewhere else, and blue, you don't have to use blue. You know, just make it your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, just utilize your collection, grab whatever it is, and just have fun. It's Halloween. Yeah, I think that is everything. Thank you so much for watching this video. You've been a lovely audience, and I'll talk to you later.